Alright, this took a little while, but I wanted to get around to reviewing my, 24 episode 9. A lot happened in this episode, guys. It's hard for me to recall everything because so much happened, and I liked most of it, but there are a couple plot holes that I do hope get dealt with. The episode opens up with Henry Taylor. He's just been shot in the stomach. He's conscious, which was actually a little surprising to me because he lost a ton of blood. But the early indication is, he's rushed to the hospital, and the doctors begin to take him into surgery, which is going to be like a long 5-hour surgery thing. The indication is he doesn't have that great of a chance. And, if this was any other movie or any other TV show, I'd assume he'd live. With 24, I just don't know, because they'll kill off people like it's nothing. And, let's see. What else? Okay, then, that entire story arc, it actually takes a while to fully develop, but the president decides to go to the hospital to watch her husband while he's in surgery. And this is a little later in the episode, but I want to get to it now while we're on this story arc. Asks Bill Buchanan to call in her daughter. She and her daughter have not spoken in several months, so she knows that she will not come if she asks, so she needs to ask somebody else to do it for her, basically. And we see another familiar face, Aaron something. I can't remember his full name, but Aaron, the big, bald Secret Service dude. He comes into the picture. He goes to pick her up. She's working for a, bank, law firm or something like that. I can't remember exactly what. But, the general indication is they don't like each other very much, the daughter and the president's daughter. For whatever reason, we don't know yet. But she's told that her dad has been shot, and, she's being driven over to the hospital, and hopefully her character goes somewhere, because right now she's completely useless. Hopefully she does something. I'm sure she will, so it's not that I mind it. Meanwhile, Dubaku's planning to leave the country because he doesn't have anything left. He has nothing to hold over the president's head. His mission's a failure. He's just got to get out of there now. And that's a whole production because he's got a bunch of people trying to help him to get out, and he says, if I die, I'm gonna expose all of you to the public as traitors to the U.S. government and stuff like that, so they have to work their asses off to get him and make sure he gets out safely. And in the meantime, he wants to get his girlfriend out of there, so that's a whole nother thing. He really does love her. And that's an interesting plot point. And this whole girlfriend thing with Marika, it panned out because it added something. Before I was like, this is a joke, but it worked out. So he's trying to plan to get her out of the country. He's trying to come up with some fake story that can get her out, and she decides to go ahead and go along with it because she loves him too. And she goes to pack, gets in a fight with her sister, and just when the things are escalating, Jack and Renee break in and break the story that the sister was right all along. The sister heavily suspected Dubaku of not being who he said he was, or Samuel, or whatever. And she ended up being right. Could not be more right. I mean, he's like, I can't think of a parallel. Like, I guess that if General Juma is like Hitler, then Dubaku would be like Amon Goth. And that was the guy in Schindler's List, the guy who was killing a lot of people. You guys probably know who I'm talking about if you've seen Schindler's List. So she agrees to help them. She answers the phone when Dubaku calls and agrees to go with, go to his location to lead the FBI to him and stuff like that. One thing that bothered me, though, during the phone conversation between Marika and Dubaku, we find out no, excuse me, Dubaku finds out because she's, kind of trying to use a cover story to cover up why she sounds so distraught. And she's saying that she and her sister got in a fight over her leaving. Now, Dubaku knows for a fact that her sister knows that he is not who he is. So as soon as he hears that she knows that he's trying to take her away, he should know that the sister would not be okay with it, because the sister knows that he's not really who he says he is. And then Marika just says, no, she's fine with it. That shouldn't fly with him. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. That's plot hole number one. I didn't buy that. Anyway, it goes on and on. And meanwhile, over at the FBI, they're starting to try and indicate to us who the traitor is. They work really hard to make it look like Janice is the traitor. I didn't buy it, because I knew that because they were trying so hard to make Janice look like the traitor, Janice couldn't be the traitor. They wouldn't make it that obvious. She was sneaking around, trying to look into other people's work, use the master key or whatever to hack into what they were doing, ended up disrupting it accidentally, was, lying to a bunch of people apparently. But, she's becoming very unlikable as a character, but she's not the traitor. I never really felt like she would be the traitor. We do find out who the traitor is, however. It's Sean, and that's a little disappointing to me, because I was kind of liking Sean. I know that his style of character is the guy who would stereotypically end up being the bad guy, so I was hoping they would go with something not stereotypical. But they went with him. He's the traitor. He feeds Dubaku's men information about how the FBI are tracking them and the best way to do this and that. He issues an FBI arrest warrant for Jack and Renee to slow them down so they can't track Dubaku's car back to him. And Dubaku gets a phone call confirming that Marika is working with the FBI now. So we'll see how that concludes. And, that sounded like a whole mess of a bunch of different stuff, but a lot of stuff happened in this episode. It actually took me shorter than usual to explain it, but a lot of stuff happened in this episode. You had the, president's husband, his situation, the daughter bringing in Marika, Dubaku trying to escape the country and finding out that his girlfriend's betrayed him, Jack and Renee and the FBI trying to track him. A lot of good stuff. So, I'm done. See you guys later. Oh, duh, I forgot about the last plot hole. Sean, we now know he's the traitor, and we assume he's been the traitor the whole time. That makes sense. He has to have been the traitor the whole time. Earlier, we saw that Sean's wife was in one of the airplanes that was stuck up in the sky, and he did a bunch of illegal crap to make sure she got on the ground safe. Now, if he's working with the terrorists, he should know what they're planning to do, as in they're planning to take control of the planes and make them crash and stuff. And we see several times that he is legitimately worried about his wife and was willing to do whatever it takes to make sure her plane gets down, and he did a bunch of illegal crap. If he's working with the terrorists, he should know they're planning to do that and make it so his wife is never in any actual danger. So they're going to have to clear that up for me at some point, because that didn't fly with me. I like the episode, but I'm just saying there are a couple things that need to be worked out. Alright, I'm out.